Welcome to the mind of Stony Face Entertainment. What's up, Gus? Hope you're having a good day. Uh, let's get to it. I want to hear your thoughts on Black Widow. So I'll just give you my quick pointers here and get your thoughts on this. So Black Widow, the movie we've probably been looking forward for since waiting for her for a decade, 2010. Like, dang. All right. So the movie we've been waiting a decade from. She goes from uh, being featured in many other films to finally getting her film. The first, actually, she's not the first. Captain Marvel is the first female led star. She did, which is kind of disappointing. Should have been Black Widow just out of respect, but story wise, I get it, I guess. But here we are, Black Widow. So, what are my thoughts on it? So I think it was a decent movie. Not one of the greatest MCU stories, but considering how many are out there at this point, that isn't saying much. But it's an okay movie if you have time for it. I feel like they could have done more with this movie, but I feel like they could do more with this movie. I'll go into a little bit detail of that in my spoiler section. It was shot nicely. The story was was the arcs were completed from the beginning to end, and it was a decent Marvel movie. So I would recommend it because it wasn't horrible. I'm sure it wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't horrible. That's why it's not very likely from my scale of very unlikely, unlikely, likely, and very likely. I think it. I'm swayed to. I would recommend it. Wasn't that bad. There was some pretty good action in it. There was pretty good action in it. Pretty solid writing. In summary, to be clear, what I'm saying is if you're going into this movie hoping for a Natasha Romanov movie, you'll probably be disappointed to a degree because the priorities in this movie begin with the Romanov family, the Black Widow organization, and then Natasha. Even Natasha might be below one more character actually, because as much as you want to see the dark past that has been referenced throughout her time in the MCU, this movie gives you a fun family story. It's still an enjoyable movie, which is why I'm recommending it, but it doesn't satisfy uh, learning more about Natasha and giving her a proper send off. But yeah, the humor was balanced. The you felt for the family. It's a true comic book movie. The action was there. But yeah, if you're going there for a Natasha Romanoff movie, just know it's actually literally a Black Widow movie. So take that as you will. So yeah, so that's my rating. I would recommend. I'm likely to recommend this to someone based on my taste. Okay, so let's get into the spoilers.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. The following segments contain spoilers. The opinions expressed are that of the commenter. Please feel free to have your own opinions and share and discuss them in the comment section.
All right, Gus. I want to hear your feedback and your reshoot suggestions. But first, I just have a few points. I don't have too many points for this movie. I think it was literally a great family movie, like movie on family. But for probably the only Black Widow movie we're gonna see, like she was barely in this movie. To me, I feel like this was more of her younger sister's movie than it was like uh, Scarlett Johansson's movie. It didn't really feel like she was the star of the movie. It felt like she was a co-star yet again, rather than the star of the movie. Like Captain America's first movie was a good model for this, where there was a lot of co-stars, especially later on in the movie, but you know this was his movie. With this one, it felt like there was multiple leads in it. It was great to get her background, find her family, and everything, but I saw a comment on this earlier that said the way she would talk about her past, it made it sound like she did unforgivable things. But in this movie, I don't know if it's because it's PG or something. The things she didn't aren't that out there to where she would be traumatized to the point she is in that we know her in the recent movies. So I, I wasn't. So I didn't really feel like a Black Widow movie. It felt like let's see, Romanoff was her last name, right? This felt more like a Romanova movie than it did a Black Widow movie. Like, yes, there was a Black Widow institution in it, and you get to see the background and how they move. You get a glimpse in how they're given assignments and how they execute them, but it never really felt like that much of a threat. Like, I don't know. I just feel like they could have done more with it. Like maybe they were pulling their punches back or something. I feel like if you were going to go dark with any character, and consider how much they talk about her past and how much it seems to impact her, it would have been interesting to see that dark past, like kind of like seeing a contrast between a nice person or someone who's being nice to you when they're face to face, and someone who's like a criminal or a drug dealer or something. So like a complete 180. It would be nice to see like a version of Natasha that we haven't seen before. And like, wow, she really like made that progress. Even in the movie, they showed the present time. So I guess you could have also shown that, but shown the development in this movie alone. But it would have been nice to see like a completely different version of her than how we imagine her or how we're used to her. To look to see the drastic change she made, the growth she made. But this felt more like a passing of the torch of the mantle, the Black Widow mantle from her to her younger sister. So I don't feel like this movie did justice in honoring. Well, I guess it honored Black Widow, but and giving us an interesting send off to Natasha, especially it being probably being our only one. The direction. So for the story, I'll probably give it. Was invented fresh. I'll probably give it like a 14. Give the story integration. Like from beginning to end, the story was finished. So I'm gonna say the arcs. So the verse resonates beautifully throughout the piece. The provoking, masterfully interwoven, masterfully interwoven in the story. Um, okay, I'll give this one a. I'll give it a 10 because you can still feel the family vibe for the most part. Direction. It was a cohesive story. You mostly believe the relationship between the characters. So I'll give that one a 10. Cinematography, I'll give it a 10. Editing, 10. Costume design, I'll give a 9. Felt a bit cartoony in some areas. The set design and whatnot. Music score, I'll give a 10. Sound design, I'll give a 10. Acting, I'll give a 10. The acting was pretty solid. So overall, so out of 100, you take away 6. It's 94. Take away 95. Okay, keep in mind my story took a big hit, but everything else was pretty solid. So even though it's 95, I didn't. The points don't always matter. Like whose line is anyways, or some things in life, they just don't matter. So this just the 95 means nothing. I don't really take my rating seriously. I just care about how a movie made me feel, my takeaway when I watch it again, intangible things. These are more just talking points that help us push the story across. So my recommendation for reshoots is you can still have the family dynamic, but kind of have more of a dark Black Widow, so we can see the drastic growth she's had. It doesn't have to be completely R rated, but also doesn't have to be too PG. Like let's see some things that are pretty bad. Aside from, I think a kid died in this. So the kid didn't die, but at least at least they put the art to good use. They made her the sympathetic villain. So you know what? I'll give them applause for that. That was actually a pretty solid idea. But yeah, so nothing really tragic happened because the kid got redeemed. It was sucky, but it was more what happened to her. Both seemed to be more of a setback, if nothing else. But so again, like, what did she do that was so dark that she was so emo? You know what I mean? Let's see that. But yeah, so that's the only one I could think of right now. But if you have any, let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace and out.